see if I remember how to do this.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Formula America podcast. We're your hosts, Kurt and Dylan.
That was good. Just keep rolling with it. Hey, we're here to talk about this weekend's, a long weekend, actually. This is sprint weekend, the Austrian Grand Prix at the Red Bull Ring, which last year was a pretty exciting race, not just for the racers, but also for the stewards, because
they earned their keep that weekend.
We just read last year there was, 1,200 track limit violations that they had to review, which was an absolute astronomical number. It was comical almost how many track limit violations.
And I'm pretty sure Ocon got the lion's share of the penalties.
Was this that race last year?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was at like 15 seconds.
Yeah, Ocon got screwed. He got hosed last year. But so this year they've made some changes to make it easier on themselves so they don't have to do so many track limit investigations. But it actually makes sense because instead of just having all this runoff, they just either move the gravel closer or move the track limits closer to the gravel. So, hey, if you go off, you go off, which I like.
I like that a ton more. Here's the gravel pit. Don't go off or do. I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at this point. I'm going to sit back and put my feet up.
I think I love that that's the route they took, because you and I talk all the time about how aggravating it can get when stewards just get involved and really start affecting the race. And last race, they definitely, I mean, we didn't even know who the winner was for a little, like we knew Max won it, but like all of the penalties that were being doled out after the race even was shuffling up the deck where you're like, this is silly. Like so I'm so happy they're like, you know what? Gravel traps.
Yeah, perfect. Because like you're right. It was hours after the race and results were still changing because of penalties. So good on them for doing something smart and making common sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and you're also saying that they put a blue line on the outside of the white line so that it was more delineated. If you see blue, it is off limits, makes it a little bit easier because like they're showing pictures of the red and white, like the curbs, how they change color, red, white, red, white. And when the white is next to the white track limit, it's really hard to tell where the line is. And so I'm sure, putting that blue line is going to help as well.
I love it, man.
Simple.
It's like, it makes common sense.
Yeah.
Finally, something makes common sense. So that's awesome. Good for them.
So I'm sure we'll see Carlos Sainz in a gravel trap at some point.
And I just hope that Carlos Sainz is not going to be a whiny little baby this weekend.
Bro, that was awful last weekend.
We'll see. Hopefully he's not pulling his best George Russell. So oh wow, looking up the weather, there's a chance of rain on Sunday.
I've got all of that. We're why don't we dive into it? So Kurt, for this week at the Red Bull Ring, we've got the C3 through C5 tires, softest in the lineup. Same thing as last year. We have a 50% chance of thunderstorms on Sunday afternoon. We have like a 50% chance of rain on Friday as well. So might have some changing conditions. This track is very abrasive. It hasn't been retopped in a long time. It's a pretty abrasive on the tires, but it doesn't have a whole lot of lateral deg. They were talking about the biggest problem with tires at this one is overheating them. And so as long as you can keep your tires in the temperature window, you're doing all right. Two stop is typically what we see here. No one last year ran the C5 softs. It was all mediums and hards throughout the race. This track has the second most elevation of 65 meters from the highest to the lowest point. That's second only behind Spa. It's the fifth shortest track, but it is the fastest, like time wise. It is the fifth in length shortest, but it has the shortest track time. We have 3 DRS zones, the least amount of turns. It's only got 10 turns on it.
Oh.
And yeah, not, safety cars aren't always a thing here. So it could go either way.
And I think we have 100% chance of orange smoke at this track as well.
I don't know, it's basically one of Max's like 12 home races.
Max has so many home races. It's wild. And there's no shortage of orange smoke. No matter how much they say they're going to kick people out for the orange smoke, they don't care.
It's still
they don't
orange
give a
smoke.
damn.
So this should be last year. I thought it was a great race other than all the track limit violations. Those were kind of annoying, but I mean, we had Checo down in 15th, make his way up to third place. We had some great racing between the Ferraris. Lewis Hamilton and Carlos Sainz were racing hard. We got to see a little bit of everything on the racetrack. It was a lot of fun.
Last year, also Lando, this was right after McLaren came out with their upgrades. And so Lando was doing pretty well. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure, isn't this the track where he got the name Last Lap Lando?
I don't know.
If I recall, it was 2020, and it was he had to chase down Lewis Hamilton had a 5-second penalty in P3, and Lando was going after his first podium in Formula One, and he had to make up, I forget how many seconds he had to make up to get within 5 seconds of Lewis, and he put in a monster final lap to get there and get his first podium, and he got the moniker Last Lap Lando. So awesome. I'm hoping that he's going to continue that, because he did pretty well last year too.
I like Last Lap Osama bin Russell a whole lot more. Doing great and just shags it into the wall. Last lap every time.
He shags it, huh?
Taking one off of RPM there. All right, Kurt. So we have a sprint weekend. So that means for the schedule, we have Friday Central Time, Friday Central Time, 5:30. We have free practice 1. And then Friday at 9:30, we have sprint quali. And then Saturday at 5 a.m. is the sprint race. Saturday, 9 a.m. is quali for the GP. And then race is 8 a.m. on Sunday. Going to be a full weekend.
Oh, a super, super busy weekend. Well, it's going to be busy right now, too, because we got a lot of predictions to do. We were just talking about how much we do not like doing predictions for sprints because there's so much to think about.
And you're not allowed to just copy and paste. You have to do 2 different lineups. So,
yep. Man.
All right. Sprint poll. Who do you have?
Okay. My sprint poll, I am going to go with the old tried and true Max Verstappen.
Yeah, I am as well.
And I think that might be our only crossover that we have. We'll see.
I'd be cool with that. So sprint
Actually,
P3.
we might have one more. My sprint P3, I've got the Aussie Oscar Piastri.
Ooh. I've got the Mexican Checo Perez.
Ooh. All right. Who's in P2?
I got Lando in P2.
Oh, man, I got Lando in P2.
Old Maxi Max, Super Max on P1.
And, yep, so do I. Okay, so we have 3 that are alike. All right, so what about your wild? All right, so my wild card for the sprint race is I'm going to go, I know it's generally a safe track, but I'm calling 3 DNFs.
Ooh. I'm calling Alpine points on the sprint.
Oh, damn. Okay. They're going to get that heavy car. They're just going to crank it around there.
So they're going to do it. It's going to happen, mainly because there's probably going to be 3 DNFs, hopefully. But I think Gasly's going to get it up there into 8th place.
All right. Let's move on to the GP. All right. On pole, I've got Lando Norris.
So do I.
Oh my God. Oh jeez. Okay. All right, who do you got in P3?
Lewis.
Okay, I got Checo Perez in P3.
All right. Who do you got in P2?
Max Verstappen.
God dog it.
So do you? Oh man. P1, you got Lando?
I do.
Golly, I thought we were going to be different this time. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's like 5 already. All right, what's your wild card?
Ferrari DNF.
Okay, I was about to just turn the mic off and go home. My wild card is I've got Stake finally getting their first points this weekend.
That's a really bold. You should get double points if that happens.
I'll take it. I'm
not going to give it to you. I'm just saying you should, but
I should watch them get double points this weekend. Yeah. Or they're just crash out at the beginning of the race. I don't know, but yeah, I feel
they're going to get a 75-second pit stop and still come out in front of Logan Sargent.
Those are all potentials. That could all happen.
Have you seen all the rumor mills about Max's grid place penalties?
No.
So last week, they used his last allotted power unit. So if he replaces anything on his power unit, it's a 10-place grid penalty.
Right.
And there's a lot of rumor mills going around that he's going to take it this weekend. So that's why I put him in P2 behind Lando.
Oh,
I think that
taking it at the Red Bull Ring?
I think he's going to take it at the Red Bull Ring. I think he's going to make it back up, but Lando's going to be in the distance.
Yeah. Well, I guess they probably wouldn't want to take it at Silverstone. So maybe. No. Oh, man. That would be exciting. We'll see. Hey, there's a lot of running this weekend, too. So you want that thing to be strong.
Yep. So.
All right. Well, real quick, one thing we did not mention is we have the surprise news just came out that nobody saw coming. Lance Stroll has been extended. His contract at Aston Martin has been extended, and Pierre Gasly's has as well. So 2 more seats have now dropped off of the crazy whatever chart for the year.
So that means Aston Martin is locked up, Red Bull's locked up, Ferrari's locked up. I think those are the only 3.
I would say that Red Bull is locked up with an asterisk.
That's fair. But yes and no, though. Like, if they don't bring Liam Lawson in, I don't think that seat's going to be open to anyone else. It's either going to be from VCarb or it's going to be Liam. Like, I don't really see them bringing someone else in at this point.
Yeah, and so we'll see what happens there. There's been rumors from another F1 pundit. I can't remember his name. But he was speculating that the whole thing where Marco came out and said that, the VCarb team is supposed to be a junior team. But we know Helmut Marko doesn't run pretty much anything. It's all down to Horner at this point.
Yeah.
But this guy, the F1 pundit, I need to look up his name. He was saying that he's now speculating, or he says he has insider information that Liam Lawson will be promoted to that team. But I take that with a grain of salt.
I saw
really
that by summer break, he's going to replace Danny if Danny doesn't start getting his stuff together, which in all honesty, unpopular opinion, it's time.
Well, they also said that about Japan and Miami. And I don't know. I think, like I said, he has too much marketability, but I may be wrong. We'll see.
I agree with that 100%. And I don't really want Danny to leave F1, but it is time for Liam to have a seat.
That's for damn sure. Yeah. So
we'll see what happens. Big thing for what it's time for. I think he deserves to be in a seat somewhere getting some experience.
Well, it'll be somewhere, I hope.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get ready for this long, wild weekend of Formula One. And so we'll be back.
Pandemonium.
I hope so. It'll be exciting. We'll be back on Monday and talk about all of this that's going on and see how many of Dylan and I's exact same predictions come true, which I seriously thought this was the weekend that we would not have anything except for maybe that one Max Verstappen pole. And then you go and do this.
Yeah. Well, that's how I do. And I heard, and you promised all of our fans that you were going to count all of the track limit infractions this weekend. So, don't forget about that.
Yeah. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'll let you know. All right. You got anything else for this weekend?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, on that note,
stay classy, America.
We'll see you next time.